Good evening. Thank you for joining us at the T.G. Howard Community Outreach segment. I am Ashley Edmonds, and today I am here with Mr. Randy Odell Sr. Mr. Odell, thank you for joining us. I want to start by, if you would, just give us your name and the position that you're seeking with Pulaski County, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm, as you said, I'm Randy Odell Sr. I'm seeking re-election for the Board of Supervisors for the Ingalls District.
Okay.
I live in Hiawassee, have the biggest part of my life, born and raised. Graduated here in the county.
Okay.
Went into the construction industry as a young man. My dad took 3 sons, and we all pooled our money together and started Edwin Odell Company.
Wow.
We took a small company and turned it into a multi-million-dollar corporation.
Wow. Okay.
And we sold out in '95. And then my son came to me one day. I'd been retired about 2 years, just piddling around. And he said, "Dad, let's go back in business." I said, "Do you really want to?" He said, "Yeah, let's try it a while." So we did for 10 more years. We did pretty well. And then the economy went kaput in 2008. So we were cleaning up everything to have us a sale, get rid of what equipment that we had left over. And this family in Chatham, by the name of Hames, their granddad was one of our lead carpenters in '63. We had 5 bridges around the Chatham bypass. So everything has to be done by computer now, you know. So he saw that we didn't have any work, so he called and asked me if, he said, "I have 5 counties and nobody to put on, no supervision at all." He said, "Would you help me a while?" And I said, "Andy, I've got this equipment that I'm not gonna let sit and rust to the ground. I'm gonna get it ready and have a sale." He said, "What if I buy it? Will you come to work with me?" I said, "Well, you know, yes, let's sit down and talk." So he did. He came up and me, him and my son made the deal, and I sold everything to him with, I was just gonna work with him for a year or 2, and that was 8 years ago.
Wow.
So that's, I've been in the construction industry about all my life. Enjoyed every bit of it. And still work. I still work 40 hours a week, and I'll soon be 78. And I still enjoy it. It gives me something to wake up for every morning. Because I live by myself. My wife passed away at 08, so I'm by myself, but everything's okay.
So you mentioned your son. Do you have any other children?
I have a daughter. I had one daughter that passed away at 43. She had, what's it called? It's a disease. If they catch it in time, you have a pretty good chance of survival, but they didn't get it until, well, actually, they didn't find out what she had until she had passed away. And then I have, let's see, I have 10 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren. I have children in school, I have children in the military, and I have children in college, so, or grandchildren. So enjoy it.
I know that, I would like for you to share this with our viewers. You have a pretty interesting story about why you decided to run initially for the Board of Supervisors. Will you share that with us?
Sure will. I have many hobbies, and drag racing is one of them. We were headed to, me and my son, we both had drag cars, so we were headed to the drag strip down at Mortgage Cut. And atop the hill there, we called it Loman's Hill because it was a Loman's Ferry there years ago. Now it's called Duncan Hill because that's all it is at present Duncan. But anyway, as we topped the hill, the road was blocked. And we sat there for 1 hour and 45 minutes until Tiny Bowman could come around through Wythe County to pull this wreck out. So we were late getting off the mountain, and I said, "Son, I'm going to call my representative. I'm going to talk to him and see what's going on here. Why can't we get these curves straightened out?" Because let me back up. The traffic going to Hoover Color with tractors and trailers And there used to be, which is slacked off a little bit now, but there was one an hour, either going in or out of Hoover Color. So anyway, the road's blocked. Call the record, hour and 45 minutes. Call my representative. And I won't call any names, but I talked to him for about 20 minutes, and I might as well have been talking to that electrical outlet over there. He couldn't explain anything to me. So I told my son, I said, look, I've been in construction all my life. I know what to do. I've always worked, kept my mouth shut, paid my taxes. And I said, I'm going to do a little survey on my own and see if I can get enough people over here to vote for me, and I'm going to run against this guy. And if I'm elected, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to straighten some of these roads out over here. So that was the first thing on my agenda, was to get Duncan Hill, get the curve straightened out. It took me about 3.5 years of praying and crying and preaching and begging, and finally it come to fruition. We got it done.
Yes.
And in the meantime, we had some, Wilson Grove Road. They called me, wanted that done, so we got that one. We got Rock Creek Road done, and we got Bethel Church Road done. Now we have one more curve that is, and that's why I want to run, that's why I want to be elected for one more term, is I have some irons in the fire that if I don't do it, it may not get done. I don't know.
Right.
But I want to see these things finished that I've started.
Gotcha. Makes good sense. All right. The next question that we have for you talks about what your elected role's purpose is, what the role of a board of supervisors' purpose is in your eyes, and what its impact is to Pulaski County. So, being a member of the board of supervisors, what you feel like that role is to you, and what you feel the impact of that role is.
Well, it's industry. Bring in industry to the county. That's our tax base. That keeps the taxes low on personal property.
Right.
If we can bring all this together. Our problem now is getting enough people together to man the jobs. We have, if you read the paper, there's people always advertising for this, advertising for that. We got to have, we got to have a workforce, and I think what I would like to see done is I would like to see a trade school. Now we have the New River Community College, which is a start.
Right.
And educate these people on how to, see, everybody can't be a doctor, everybody can't be a lawyer, everybody can't do what I do.
Right.
But if we give him something to do, like a bricklayer or a carpenter or a crane operator or a dozer operator, something like that. And two, we have Radford College, BPI, New River, all these people coming out. We got to get them something to do, so that's more industry we got to bring in.
Right.
Although I said a minute ago, we have jobs that we can't fill because we don't have the people to fill it. But we have people coming out of college that can fill some of these
Right.
things. Keep taxes down low. I like that. I always have. That's what that was one of the things that I ran on was lower taxes. And we have balanced the board of supervisors with the help of you and everybody else with the county.
Right.
We have kept the taxes down. The building the new school raised the taxes,
Right.
but we as the board of supervisors, we didn't do that.
Right.
We put it out and let the citizens vote on it themselves, so they voted themselves a tax raise. It
Right.
wasn't us.
Right.
So I'm for a modest government.
Gotcha. Absolutely. Well, now for our last question, and you and I kind of talked a little bit about this, is that, you know, there have been a lot of community projects and grassroots efforts to kind of tackle some of our issues that are happening in our society. One of those would be the bringing it back and the revitalization of the Calfee Training School, which one of the things that it's trying to address is a child care desert that Pulaski County has been identified as, because we don't have enough child care, you know, early child care for our citizens. Another group that's working very hard to provide some educational outreach along with some entertainment outreach is the Adair Theater. A local gentleman, Kendall Payne, works very hard to bring in plays and, you know, also works with camps and kids to provide some outreach. And then lastly, our organization, which is the Gigi Howard Center. And again, what we're trying to do is inform, enlighten our citizens, not just of, African American descent, but of all colors, creeds, to be more of a positive influence in our community. So we'd like to know what it is, and it doesn't have to necessarily be with our organizations, but what you would do, not just as a Board of Supervisor member, but as a public citizen or private citizen, to help with these groups and help with these issues.
Well, first of all, you got to have people that's interested in what's going on. And then I'm sure there's grants out there that we can acquire that will help you there. But the main thing is having people to come in and help you. I mean, that's the mainstay of anything. I mean, church or whatever. If you don't have the people to come in to help you, then you're on your own.
Very true. Very true. Well, this is the part of the program that I'm going to allow you to give any last comments that you would have, that you would want for our citizens, for anybody that's viewing, to know about you or to know about your platform, or anything that you'd like to share.
Well, first and foremost, I'm a Christian. And I have Christian values. And, you're talking about your community center and child care. That's great. I would love to see that. We have too many grandparents raising children today. That is good, but it's bad. What happened to the parents?
Right.
But that's about it. As far as me running for this office again, like I said a minute ago, there's several things on my agenda that I would like to complete before I bow out. And I think I have a good chance of doing that.
Again, thank you for joining us.